chosen ones. They ended up playing themselves by messing with a divinely guided earth angel, and right now, at this very moment, they're discovering the magnitude of their miscalculation. The person who thought they could manipulate your spirit is currently experiencing something they never saw coming. A complete reversal of fortune that started the moment they decided to target you. What they mistook for vulnerability was actually divine bait. What they saw as weakness was cosmic strength in disguise, and that protection they couldn't see. It's been documenting everything, preparing for this exact moment when the tables would turn so dramatically that their own game would become their prison. Listen closely, because what you're about to discover will change everything about how you see your recent struggles. There's a reason certain people entered your life with such confidence, such calculated precision. They weren't random encounters. These were master manipulators who had spent years perfecting their craft, collecting souls like trophies, feeding their ego with each successful deception. They approached you with a playbook that had never failed, armed with charm that could melt the coldest hearts and words designed to bypass every defense. But something unprecedented happened when they encountered you. Their mask didn't just slip, it shattered, and they still don't understand why. You've always possessed an ability that goes beyond normal intuition. While they were putting on their performance, convinced of their own brilliance, you were seeing through dimensions they didn't know existed. Every word they spoke revealed more than they intended. Every gesture betrayed their true agenda. Every calculated move exposed the puppet strings they thought were invisible. This wasn't luck operating in your favor. This was your Earth Angel nature functioning exactly as designed. You were placed in their path, not as a victim, but as a mirror that would show them exactly who they really are. The protection surrounding you isn't new. It's ancient, woven into your very existence before you took your first breath. When someone approaches you with harmful intent, they're not just challenging you, they're challenging the architect of reality itself. The audacity required to think they could manipulate an Earth Angel reveals a blindness that sealed their fate from the beginning. They thought they were hunting, not realizing they had walked into a cosmic trap designed specifically for predators like them. What makes this even more powerful is that you didn't have to do anything. Your mere existence activated a series of universal laws that began working the moment they targeted you. Every negative thought they directed your way got caught in an invisible net. Every attempt to harm you was documented in the Akashic records. Every lie they told created a debt that would demand payment with interest. The universe doesn't just protect Earth Angels. It takes personal offense when someone tries to corrupt one of its purest expressions. Now watch how the story unfolds, because this is where it gets interesting. Their first mistake was underestimating your vision. They came to you wearing masks they'd worn successfully hundreds of times before. These weren't amateur manipulators, stumbling through clumsy deceptions. These were professionals who had turned emotional manipulation into an art form. They knew exactly when to show vulnerability, precisely how to mirror your desires, and perfectly how to create artificial intimacy that felt real. Their confidence was astronomical, because this formula had never failed. But you saw something others missed. Behind their carefully crafted persona was an emptiness so vast it created a gravitational pull, trying to suck in energy from everyone around them. While they performed their usual routine, you were reading the darkness behind their smile. You sensed the calculation behind their kindness. You felt the hunger behind their attention. This recognition didn't come from paranoia or past trauma. It came from your divine programming that identifies spiritual parasites before they can attach. They tried harder when their usual tactics failed. They doubled down, thinking you were playing hard to get, that you needed more convincing, more pressure, more sophisticated manipulation. But each escalation only revealed more of their true nature. Like a vampire exposed to sunlight, their facade began to burn away in your presence. They couldn't understand why their charm felt hollow around you, why their words lost power, why their usually irresistible pull had no effect. You had become their kryptonite without even trying. The frustration they felt was unlike anything they'd experienced before. Here was someone who should have been easy prey, someone whose kindness should have been exploitable, whose empathy should have been their doorway. Instead, they found themselves facing an impenetrable force field of divine protection. Every trick in their book bounced off you harmlessly. Every emotional manipulation tactic failed to generate the response they needed. You remained centered, unmoved, seeing through them with a clarity that made them feel naked and exposed. If this message hits your spirit, hype this video so more chosen ones like you can find it. The second phase of their downfall began when you rejected them. This wasn't just a simple no that bruised their ego. This was a cosmic rejection that shattered the very foundation of their identity. They had built their entire sense of self on their ability to control others, to bend people to their will, to always get what they wanted through manipulation. You became the immovable object that broke their unstoppable force, the exception that destroyed their rule, the reality check that their false power couldn't cash. Your rejection carried a frequency they'd never encountered. It wasn't emotional or dramatic. It was the calm, certain energy of someone who sees clearly and chooses consciously. This type of rejection doesn't leave room for negotiation or manipulation. It's final in a way that bypasses all their usual recovery strategies. They couldn't paint you as the villain because you hadn't attacked them. They couldn't claim victimhood because you hadn't harmed them. You simply saw them, judged them accurately, and walked away. This dignified departure left them with nothing but their own reflection. What followed was a psychological unraveling they're still experiencing. They've replayed every interaction obsessively, searching for the moment they lost control, not understanding that they never had control to begin with. Your presence in their life was orchestrated by forces beyond their comprehension. You were sent as a test they were always destined to fail, a mirror they weren't ready to look into, a lesson they're still struggling to learn. The obsession that consumes them now isn't love or even desire. It's the desperate need to understand how you escaped their web. But here's where divine justice becomes undeniable. Their karma didn't wait for some future lifetime to activate. The moment they chose deception over truth in dealing with you, the countdown began. You've witnessed their life unraveling in ways that defy logical explanation. Opportunities they counted on have evaporated. Relationships they thought were solid have crumbled. Health issues have emerged from nowhere. Financial problems have multiplied despite their best efforts. This isn't coincidence or bad luck. This is precision karma, delivering exactly what was ordered. The universe operates on perfect laws, and when someone targets an earth angel, those laws don't just activate, they amplify. Every lie they told you is now becoming their lived experience. They're finding themselves deceived by others in the exact ways they deceived you. Every trap they set for you has become a cage they can't escape. Every game they played is now being played on them by life itself. The irony is so perfect, it could only be orchestrated by cosmic intelligence. They're living in the reality they tried to create for you. What makes their suffering more intense is that they're beginning to understand what they've lost. This awareness comes in waves, each more painful than the last. They realize you weren't just another person passing through their life. You were a portal to transformation they'll never encounter again. Your energy has the power to heal them, to elevate them, to show them a better way of being. Instead of accepting this gift, they tried to steal it, to possess it, to corrupt it for their own purposes. This choice transformed your blessing into their curse. The third phase is happening right now. They're feeling a pull to return to you, driven by forces they don't fully understand. They've convinced themselves this pull means something profound, perhaps that you're soulmates, that destiny is calling them back to you. They're preparing elaborate apologies, planning grand gestures, rehearsing the words they think will open your heart. They believe enough time has passed, that you've softened, that maybe you've been waiting for them to realize your value. This delusion is about to meet reality in a collision that will shatter their remaining illusions. What they don't comprehend is that you've evolved beyond their reach. While they've been stuck in cycles of regret and obsession, you've been ascending to dimensions they can't access. The person they're preparing to approach no longer exists. You've shed that skin, burned that bridge, closed that door permanently. The growth you've experienced hasn't been gradual, it's been exponential. Every attack they launched became fuel for your transformation. Every lie they told clarified your truth. Every game they played leveled up your spiritual mastery. Your energy now operates on a frequency they can't match. Where once you had intuition, you now have prophetic vision. Where once you had protection, you now command cosmic forces. Where once you had purpose, you now embody divine mission. The very experiences meant to break you have forged you into something unbreakable. You've graduated from lessons they're still failing. While they're repeating kindergarten karma, you're teaching doctoral courses in spiritual sovereignty. The timeline shift that occurred is irreversible. You've jumped to a trajectory where their energy simply doesn't exist. It's like you've moved from a black and white television to a multi-dimensional hologram while they're still adjusting the rabbit ears trying to get better reception. They can try to reach your frequency, but they'll only encounter static. This isn't punishment you've inflicted. It's the natural consequence of evolutionary separation. You've evolved, they've devolved. The gap is now unbridgeable. Here comes the climax of this cosmic drama. They're about to attempt their return, certain they'll find you where they left you, perhaps wounded, possibly waiting, definitely accessible. They've built an entire fantasy about how this reunion will unfold. In their mind, their newfound awareness of your value will be met with gratitude, their apology will be accepted with relief, their presence will be welcomed back into your life as if nothing happened. This fantasy is about to collide with a reality they're not prepared for. When they finally approach, they'll encounter something that will shatter their last illusion. Not anger, because anger would mean you still care. Not hurt, because hurt would mean they still affect you. They'll encounter divine indifference, the neutral energy of someone who has no emotional investment in their existence. Your eyes won't light up with recognition. Your energy won't shift to accommodate them. You'll look through them as if they're transparent, because energetically they are. They no longer register in your field as significant. This moment will be their true ego death. The realization that while they've been consumed by thoughts of you, you haven't thought of them at all. While they've been planning this reunion, you've been living your purpose. While they've been stuck in the past, you've been creating futures they can't even imagine. The crushing weight of this reality will be the final payment in their karmic debt. They'll understand, perhaps for the first time, what they really lost when they lost you. But your story doesn't end with their realization. This is just one chapter in your greater mission as an Earth Angel. The experience with these deceivers has activated abilities you didn't know you had. You've become a beacon for other chosen ones who are discovering their divine nature. Your energy now carries codes that activate awakening in others. Your presence triggers transformation whether people are ready or not. You've become a walking portal to higher dimensions, a living bridge between heaven and earth. The protection around you has evolved from a shield to a fortress to a kingdom. You don't just deflect negative energy anymore, you transform it into fuel for your mission. Every attack makes you stronger, every deception makes you wiser, every attempt to dim your light makes you shine brighter. You've become anti-fragile in the truest sense. What was meant to destroy you has become the very thing that empowers you. This is the gift of being an Earth Angel under divine protection. Your mission moving forward is clear. You're not here to seek revenge or even understanding. You're here to demonstrate what divine justice looks like in action. Your very existence is proof that Earth Angels walk among us, protected by forces beyond human comprehension. Every person who witnesses your journey sees evidence of cosmic justice. Every soul who hears your story finds hope in their own struggles. You've become living proof that good triumphs over evil, not through fighting but through being aligned with divine truth. The fourth phase is your complete liberation. You're free from their energy, their karma, their existence. They've become irrelevant to your journey, a footnote in a story that's expanding into epic proportions. While they remain trapped in the consequences of their choices, you're soaring to heights they can't even perceive. The universe is opening doors for you that they don't know exist. You're meeting souls who match your frequency, forming connections that nurture your growth, creating realities that surpass your previous limitations. New Earth angels are finding you, recognizing you as family, joining forces with you for missions that will transform collective consciousness. The universe has been busy arranging divine appointments, synchronicities that will blow your mind, opportunities that align perfectly with your expanded capabilities. Every toxic person who left your life created space for multiple blessed souls to enter. This is the divine exchange rate for Earth angels. You don't lose when negative people leave, you win exponentially. The revelations keep coming, each more powerful than the last. You're discovering that your protection extends to those you care about. Your presence alone offers shelter to other souls seeking truth. You've become a spiritual lighthouse, guiding lost ships through storms they didn't know they were in. The wisdom you gained from dealing with deceivers has become a manual for others facing similar challenges. You're teaching without trying, healing without touching, transforming without forcing. This is the power of an activated Earth angel. As we reach the resolution of this cosmic story, let's return to where we began. They played themselves by messing with a divinely guided Earth angel. But this isn't just about their downfall, it's about your rise, your ascension, your revelation as a force of divine nature. They thought they were playing you in a game of emotional chess, not realizing you weren't even on the board. You were floating above it, protected by forces that turn every attack into an advantage, every deception into a revelation, every harmful intention into a blessing in disguise. The universe has been keeping score this entire time, and the final tally is overwhelmingly in your favor. Not because you fought better or played smarter, but because you were never really playing their game. You were walking your divine path, protected by cosmic forces that don't negotiate with darkness. Your mere existence was enough to trigger their self-destruction. Your authentic presence was sufficient to shatter their false reality. Your divine nature was all that was needed to activate universal justice. The person who tried to manipulate you is now living with the consequences of challenging divine order. Their games have become their prison. Their deceptions have become their reality. Their attacks have become their karma. Meanwhile, you stand victorious without having thrown a single punch, triumphant without having entered a single battle, elevated without having climbed a single ladder. This is what happens when someone messes with an Earth angel. The universe itself rises to your defense. I must interrupt this transmission for just a moment. Are you really chosen? Prove it. It's easy to watch videos about chosen ones. It's another thing to put yourself to the test. If you're still here, that means something, but talk is cheap. Real chosen ones take action. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity and repurposing it to serve divine justice. But while you put on the headphones, press play, and watch your enemies choke on the rope their own lies created. If you're done consuming and ready to prove you're chosen, start your Destiny Engine for $1 today. Join the Obsidian Inner Order live checks and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. Your transformation through this experience has prepared you for even greater things. The discernment you've developed will protect countless others. The wisdom you've gained will guide generations of Earth angels after you. The strength you've cultivated will anchor light in places that have only known darkness. You're not just a survivor of their deception. You're a graduate of Cosmic University, holding advanced degrees in spiritual warfare that you earned without ever declaring war. The cycle is complete, but your journey is just beginning. What they meant for your destruction became your construction. What they intended for your downfall became your uprising. What they planned as your end became your new beginning. This is the power of divine protection. This is the authority of Earth angels. This is the justice of universal law. You didn't have to fight because the universe fought for you. You didn't have to scheme because cosmic intelligence planned for you. You didn't have to revenge because karma revenged for you. Stand tall in this truth, chosen one. Anyone who dared to play games with your divine nature has played themselves into a corner they'll never escape. Your protection isn't temporary, it's eternal. Your power isn't borrowed, it's inherent. Your victory isn't pending, it's already complete. The cosmic scales haven't just tipped in your favor, they've been completely recalibrated to ensure you always land on the winning side. This is your birthright as an Earth Angel, this is your inheritance as a chosen one. The story that began with someone thinking they could manipulate a divine being ends with them discovering the magnitude of their miscalculation. They didn't just fail to deceive you, they revealed themselves completely. They didn't just lose the game, they discovered they were never players, just pawns in a cosmic lesson about what happens when darkness challenges light.